Welcome back. This class will be a little bit different because we're going to be playing a game. We're going to play a guessing game, which means I am going to describe places because we already know the words to describe places, but I won't tell you what is that place that I'm thinking about. And all you need to do is try to guess. There will be 5 rounds, and I'm interested to know how many points do you get. So let's start. To start with, I am thinking of a place that is very common in universities. I think universities always have this place. And maybe also big cities. It could be also a common place in big cities. In my opinion, it's a very interesting place. It's a place that I would like to visit and that I have visited. It's a quiet place. And maybe this is giving you some indications of which is the place that I'm thinking about. And this is the easiest one. It's a place that is full of resources. Especially, it's full of books. What's the answer? Do you have it? A library, of course. And which words did I use to describe the library? I said it was an interesting place. It's a place that I like to visit. I also said it's common, and I specified that it's common in universities. Universities usually have libraries, but also big cities. It's also quiet because remember, quiet is this characteristic of a place with no noise so that we can read and concentrate. And it's a place full of resources, mostly books, but not only books, nowadays also a lot of digital files, music, videos, and articles. Are you ready for the next one? Cool. This time, I am going to think of a place that is very exciting. I would also describe this place as big. It has to be big, and it's a lot of fun. It's the place that you would go to if you want to feel some adrenaline in your body. Colorful would be another word that we can use to describe this place. And there's one more thing. Even though I said it was exciting and fun, for some people, it might be a scary place, and maybe it's a place that some people don't like. I like this place. Do you have it? Any ideas? Let me show you. I'm thinking of an amusement park, of course, and we mentioned this kind of place in a previous class. Do you remember? And which words did I use to describe the amusement park? I said it was exciting, at least for some people. Big, because the attractions are usually very big, so they need a very big place. It's fun, it's colorful, but I also said for some people it could be scary. Do you have 2 points already? Let's go for the third round. Let's see. I am going to think of a city this time. This is a big city. And I would describe it as busy and crowded. Maybe it's difficult to walk on the streets of this city. Other words that we can use to describe this city would be vibrant and cosmopolitan. I could also say that this place is very hot in the summer and also very cold in the winter. Any ideas? Shall I reveal the answer? It's New York, of course. It's a place that I would love to visit. And the words that we used to describe New York were big, busy, crowded, which are words that we already studied in previous classes, and also vibrant and cosmopolitan, which means there are many things happening in New York all the time. And I also described the weather by saying it could be very hot in the summer and very cold in the winter. Ready for the 4th round? Very good. Let's see, I am going to think of a city again. I would say it's a big city and it's a very famous city in Europe. It's a capital city. I would say it's delightful and romantic and seductive. That's another word that we could use to talk about this place. Actually, this city is usually associated with good food and with love. I'm sure you know the place, right? It's Paris. It's a beautiful city. And which words did I use to talk about Paris? It's famous, of course. It's famous in Europe. Delightful, romantic, and seductive. And at the end, I also mentioned that it's associated with love and good food. Very good. Do you have 4 points? Okay, one more chance for you to make points. For the last round, I am going to think of a building. But it's not any type of building, it's a special building. And it's a very famous building. I would describe it as big. Actually, I should say enormous. It's an enormous building. And it's so famous that I'm sure some of you have already visited this place. It's a very famous place in Mexico City. And I would say is home of the Aztec Stone of the Sun. I'm sure you know the answer, right? Of course, it's the National Museum of Anthropology in Mexico City. Have you been there? Excellent. Which words did I use to describe the museum? It's famous, of course. It's very big. Actually, I corrected myself and said it's an enormous place, it's an enormous building. And at the end, I also said this museum is home of the Aztec Stone of the Sun. It's a beautiful place that I recommend you visit. How many points did you get? 3, 4, all 5? Let me know in the comments. To finish this class, let's do an activity where you organize some words. There are many, many words in the blue box, and there are 6 different categories. Places with a lot of energy, good places for students, places which are original, places where you won't get bored, places for fans of horror, and places you may want to avoid. This might take a few minutes, so pause the class right now, grab your notebook, your pen, and work on the solution. When you're ready, we can compare the answers. Perfect. Let's have a look at them. Places with a lot of energy. You could use words like exciting, lively, or busy. I think we've used all of these in this course. Good places for students would be historic, educational, and of course, inspiring. Places that are original would be described as distinctive, iconic, or unique. Places where we won't get bored would be interesting, fascinating, or entertaining. Good places for fans of horror, scary, spooky, or haunted, like a haunted house. And places you may want to avoid, crowded, expensive, depending on the occasion, and chaotic. How did you do? Do you need to make any corrections? This is the time for that. Perfect. Let's have a look at the assignment for this class. This time, I want you to play this game with someone that you know. It could be someone in your family, or your friends, or your classmates. It's very easy. All you need to do is think of a place, describe it for someone else, but don't say which place you're thinking about and get the other person to guess. Of course, take turns so that you both get to play. And leave me your experience, the comments of your experience, on the discussion board, because I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun playing this game. After that, go to the next class.